Good morning, this is Sandro and I'm about to read another article from my book Blue Auburn. This is my lovely mother taking my place for the photo shoot. Ok mamma, te ne puoi andare adesso e non parlare più per un attimo per favore, che devo leggere. Grazie. So you got her, now you're getting info. Hope you get all of it here, not that I have to bend down like this a wee bit. First of all, I have to synchronize these things back. 20 minutes, so I've got until 11:30 for sure. Work time, 11:30. I got 11:30 for sure. So here we go. We get another one dedicated to the bushy Anipa, on which I went through hell. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm promoting my work, Blue Auburn, and which is right to the point. Here goes. Sandro's Ranch near Guantonomo Bay by Notting Hill on Merivale Road. It was a balmy sun-cracked afternoon on the bench beside the sail of the brewery assumed a certain pensive static claim towards the seated splinters of accommodation. When the repertoire of their neck was sound, her distant challenging pleas, that it was a brand new equity that evaluated a spiritual nourishment known as product placement, which sounded like a screaming lab rat, that did not send Sandro free, but rather caused a delinquent moderation that subdued the property rights to his analytical, multifaceted characteristics, making him feel guilty for having had just shoplifted a bag of Frito-Lay corn chips. He then rekindled his temporarily antisocial judgment with his behavioral inadequacy, with a cordial sip of rum from his bottle of Diet Coke, which I'm still drinking to this day. He was undergoing a training process of rehabilitating the pneumonia regarding another phone aggravating winter care. That inebriated his wannabe Anglo-Saxon foolhardiness that were offending his ideas of favorite Italian flavors, with it seemed to Sandro sort of manipulative cultural domination, even his own declassified glandular trait. He was constantly being reprimanded by intellectual companionship with Olive presidential prime ministers, because as the Olive came and said, Sandro should have been the first Italian prime minister if he just wasn't so ill and drunk all the time. But Sandro thought that the system was offending a simple Italian immigrant family. He even thought that for the English monarchy, he and his family were no other than the illiterate psychotic Sasquatches that was simply not true, and they steadfastly proved their working days might with the purity of a law-abiding simplicity. Isolating his parental dignity with Sandro's intellectual self-teaching perseverance, while the elitist system soundtrack of other people that said so-called supremacy were confronting a baked dish of jarred pork sauce with that of a baked English world, which made Sandro just this about the suspicion just of bad food, and that nice cultural approach towards a literate cuisine was that for the law of them. Sandro was ill as well due to the fact that he saw Hitler-esque mountain houses with crystal clear fountains stained by acid drops, magic mushrooms, and two-bit reefers, energizing falsely decrepit mules, but nonetheless have the possibility of really being mules if they were not found capable of such a debilitating decomposition of intellectual self. Sandro choosing an alcoholic absolved from such larger goals under view of the pain of sick kinship with an unrealistic nothingness. When his survival was so beautiful, was too beautiful to fathom. And all he really had was a studential and realistic love of learning, and innocence towards that unrelenting pain of the time, artificial superiority complex. Look at your gang, where did that thing fall down? Close figure, artificial superiority complex. Alas, at least he had an excuse for his megalomaniac tendencies. It was only withdrawn from divisional joy. When he harked back towards better days, when his Fredonian ways gave in to an illegitimate resilience that was restrained in the name of purpose, honor in the name of nationalism, loyalty in the name of Canada, with a solid despair in the name of hope, building while being rebuilt by a condescending altruism of dissolving historic resemblances with loss and convention, and unscarred by redemptive decree that nonetheless forgave the innocent caretakers of brandished arms for the sake of a constant, almost saintly, non-violent reprimand. And it was all quiet on the western British Columbian coast. The pacificity and thereby easy-laid feeling of the greater novice circle board decreed that noble peace laureates must be terminated for the sake of avenging renewal of better gods, when the neighborish evil twin decreed that a governing abstraction towards punishment like Thatcherism were a lot better than the low-key Marxist Jews who were personified by their legal exposures towards where the sun don't shine. Sandro's Catholicism was apparently damned and thwarted by his cloth-ridden Gandhian decree towards the mafia that were really stupid and dumb. That is why this empirical need for heroin, cocaine, hashish, weed was secretly cherished by the privileged few as well, blasting their cerebral wall wide open with a fool's courage. They were even decreed by an unmenacing Dutch right wing, being at a loss for words when this devilish slavery unchanged the melody of addiction and strife. This flight being the real secret between the Mother and Son, between the Father and the Holy Ghost. That was an uphill battle towards another calling of life that medicated the strong among the meek, the brave amongst the cowards, with integrating mass and communication of exaggerated sport participants as well. Swooning and crooning for booze like sheep whores on a construction site, wanting the privilege of associated mythological traits as the brethren of cultural nectitude, in order to ratify their fragile roots with the emblematic assuredness of just being plain drunks with their bisexual upbringing, by the stewed Irish who were just as well as Irish son was in the Nazi at that time, but she wasn't at that time. For the lure of lordly lures came into his life, giving a Madge figure the baby she always wanted, and giving her, in Sandro's case, this story. No one here I know. The brethren McCain, from whom we all descended, slowly began being transfixed by a naked appraisal of their Christian self. Flatulent gases were superimposed with the blazing saddles of American cowboys, who, like Reagan, can only make a team effort due to their war room insurgencies, driving old friendly pals. The quest for oil gratified their emblematic care of invasion, but both the supply and demand of their true weakness regarding monetary drillings of both the faint-hearted Marine and the killer in kingly guise. Yes, and no men were being put up on auction like cattle in vegetable surroundings, while the bushers adhered to the secret Masonic legacy, with a family pride made out of conspicuous similarities towards the German decree of our ordinary old unit wisdom. Old Man River was secretly overflowing with the ferry boats and recommendations regarding Sandro's tourist traps and interest about now cliched Caponian gangsterish enterprises, much to Madge's chagrin. And a couple of actors who I will not name no longer became the sustainers of the American right of the famous to investigate an innocent sick pup such as Sandro was and still is, with the heartbreak of an illiterate mother's incapability to seek a lawful sick pup and illiterate mother's incapability to seek a lawful revenge, forcing Sandro to break chairs, smash mirrors, and yell and scream towards the FBI's hidden silhouetted shades of unlawful protectionism that was really a courteous, you know me, but I don't know you type of thing, when being compared to what Justin Deeds concerned regarding a simple bloke such as the Wonder Child was, feeling sorry for himself in the time ambassadorial cover-up regarding the near kill. How many times do I have to say that? That was a right-winged obligation regarding his historic ties. Yeah, but way back in '91, like I didn't know that there was it. making Sandro, making Sandro, don't make that time attack. Making Sandro blush towards the supremacy that is hidden scholastic agenda personified, lazily being unconvicted by his slavish self. How many more minutes we got on this thing? 10 minutes. Wow. Time goes by so slowly. Blush towards the supremacy of his hidden scholastic agenda personified, lazily being unconvicted by his slavish self. Refusing to emancipate himself due to a fleeting small town essence, which turned him into a nice guy again. Sluggish, drunkish, and paranoid by his own schizophrenic self. Where are they now? That need to be reprimanded by some hot chicks and dealing sexuality that will one day set his celibate oath to shame, like a needy expenditure of Mary Magdalene's secret wish in order to invigorate the brave hidden man in him that his daily reality simply could not deliver. For in every great man there lies a greater woman, and in great women there lies a childless man that only seeks the solace of the ages. Within and without, sorry to quote you guys, I don't want all those be less double entendres getting in the way. A matriarchal obligation. Besides that, his future kind lover, only children prefer to be by themselves anyway. Yours, she said to Sandro, yours is not a Nazi curse, you fool, is an Italian essence like your past communist ways do not purify. For you stupid fools, Sandro, are enslaved by the guilt of others that have nothing to do with you. So your dad was a deserting veteran. He helped to create you upon this earth. Indeed, and yes, there were bad times, but that is because you were undergoing a perennial adolescence, a similar process. Nice guys can live always, everywhere, and anywhere. But home is where the spirit soars and relinquishes its spirit path towards the illuminative aspects of theological concern. But being well off is not a sin as long as one is aware of his Christian obligations. And no, Sandro, you are not Jesus, but you see him everywhere, as all good people should. Thus you are a Christian, correct in assuming that in your steadfast New Testament belief that the most rebellious words spoken on earth were, forgive thy enemy. And that is simply what you did. Without a word being spoken, you conquered the Lord through lords. You bullied bullies with peace, and you cared for those who did not really care for you. Loving everyone who came into your little life like a giant turning his shoulders within the stars. The moon and the sun revolving around all of us like a steadfast purity of life of the soul. And no less. Regarding all of God's participants within your life and our lives in that clumsy and perfect place of yours that consecrates perfection and apparent imperfection. Clarifying the positive within the negative. Associating the associations, which I sometimes present as a black band. The associations. Dig that. Associations. Clarifying the positive within the negative. Associating the associations towards the eternal good that shall be our lives. Thanks to you, Sandro, and your belief in love and judicial voice from above. And may your days be as welcoming upon this earth as mine was to yours, was Sandro's response as he got up from his bench with a silent mirth and yet sadness in his heart as he once again became a protagonist of himself amongst the antagonism of others. It just made me realize he hung out with his mother too much.